Another day, another municipal employee terminated in West New York. Town Attorney Julio Morejon is the latest casualty, and Caridad Rodriguez's job is on the line. Jillian Risberg, Hudson County TV.
Do it again.
Another day.
Hold on.
Another day, another municipal employee terminated in West New York. Town Attorney Julio Morejon is the latest casualty, and Caridad Rodriguez's job is on the line. What happened?
Oh, no. All right, now
How's the lighting in here?
It's good, don't worry. We can actually just, like, when I send you the file, I'm going to put a little more light, okay? 3, 2, 1.
Another day, another municipal employee terminated in West New York. Town Attorney Julio Morejon is the latest casualty, and Caridad Rodriguez's job is on the line. Jillian Risberg, Hudson County TV. First, can you confirm that you've been released from your job as Town Attorney of West New York? By Mayor Roque.
Well, to answer that question, I was told last Tuesday, February 14th, by Alan Roth that the mayor had a conversation with the board president and told her that he no longer wanted me representing the Board of Ed. The Board of Ed met the next day, Wednesday, and as far as I know, a resolution has not been taken terminating me, but what I was told was that I would no longer be receiving any further work because I'm a contract employee.
Okay.
With the board. I was, my contract pursuant to bidding was approved back on December 14th. It was for a term through June 30th, this is the end of the school year, and I would receive work as the case would be. I was the only board attorney. I am the only board attorney. And after that conversation, that's the last communication I've had with the board regarding my job status.
Okay. Can you tell me what led to this?
Nothing on my end. I mean, I've been diligently doing my work. I haven't received any complaints from the board as to my work. I work closely with the board president, John Falta. Mr. Roth is an administrative assistant by title, but he's an attorney. He basically is a right-hand person for Mr. Falta. And as a matter of fact, Monday he and I had been in court together on a mediation session in Newark, so everything was fine. But on Tuesday, when he came here to my office at 4 o'clock, February 14th, he said to me that the mayor didn't want me doing any further work for the board because he didn't trust me. When I asked what that meant, I was told that basically the mayor thought that I'd be running for mayor against him. I mean, I don't even live in West New York, but I guess he feels so threatened that, you know, he acted on these rumors. And he had the communication with the board president, which communication I then confirmed later in the day on February 14th with the board president, Mrs. Series. And I was told, yes, the mayor had spoken to her and that's what she wanted. That's what he wanted, I'm sorry, and that was the reason why. I mean, they couldn't understand it. And then that Wednesday, the board then in their executive session, I was asked not to attend the Wednesday night Board of Education meeting, which I did. You know, I went there because I felt it was my legal obligation to appear because I wasn't officially terminated.
Right.
And I did go there, but I was asked then by Mrs. Series that please not to sit up in the dais with them, and I respected that. I sat in the audience. And then when they went into executive session, I left. And then later that evening, I found out that when they were in executive session, that they had voted amongst themselves not to give me any further work. And, you know, as I said, I had the communication the day before, and then that was the vote taken internally by the board.
So, what I'm gathering from what you're saying, this literally came out of left field?
Totally out of left field. I was, prior to being a Board of Ed attorney, I was town attorney in West New York. I was terminated by the mayor on May 6th, despite some communications that we had to the contrary. I mean, I was going to put in for the Board of Ed position and leave, and leave the town attorney position, but he elected to terminate me as town attorney. I put my paperwork in for the board. It's like a bidding process. It's called an RFQ, Request for Professional Qualifications. I submitted them. I think some other attorneys, some of the law firms submitted it too. The board elected me. I was very honored. I was very looking forward to it. I really was. Like I said, I knew some of the players because of my prior relationship as town attorney and my relationship in the town. So I knew some of the board members. I knew Mr. Falta. So I was looking forward to a positive experience, and then hoping that at the end of June 30th, when my contract was up, I would put in for renewal and it would be renewed. But unfortunately, Mayor Roque decided to intervene on February 14th, and that's when it was communicated to me that he no longer wanted me to even do that.
So you come into work, this literally just gets sprung on you, and so what was your reaction?
Well, it's actually worse than that because, like I said, the Monday before, the 13th, I had been with Mr. Roth. We were in Newark in a mediation session over an existing case that's, regarding a former employee of the Board of Ed. And we were there about 2.5, 3 hours together conversing, and the next day, as a matter of fact, he told me he wanted to meet me on the 14th because he wanted to go over some cases. That was his pretext for coming to my office right here. And when he showed up, he didn't have any cases with him, and I knew something was up. And I said, "What's the matter?" And that's when he proceeded to tell me what I just said before. But I got to tell you something, if I may. Before that, I was working. I had been handling a matter involving Janet Pesante and Alex Locatelli, who were removed by the board, who were removed from the board late last year. I think it was in October, November, maybe earlier last year. And they both have filed an appeal. They have an appeal pending in the appellate court concerning their removal. And one of my duties as the board attorney was to file what's called a friend of the court brief on behalf of the board to the appellate division. I was going to handle that. And that work was taken away from me. Before I was terminated, that work was taken away from me, Mr. Roth said, because same thing, the mayor didn't want me handling that because he didn't trust me. He felt that somehow I wouldn't represent the board in a proper manner. And I think because...
Where did he get that from?
Well, I gather from what was communicated to me, he got that from because Mr. Locatelli and Ms. Pesante were affiliated with the prior administration, and somehow, in his mind, he had it that I was with the other side, for lack of a better word.
So anybody affiliated with the Vega administration was suspect?
Yes, the mayor had told me between my being dismissed December the 6th and my appointment on December the 14th with the board, he had a conversation with me and, was doubting my my allegiance. Told me, are you meeting with these people? I said, I'm not meeting with anybody. I have no reason to, but, it's the rumors that start, and unfortunately, it's rumors that he chooses to believe, so much so that they lead to these decisions that he makes.
Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about the mayor now?
Well, the mayor is no friend of mine.
And was he?
I thought so. I had been working on his campaign. I'd helped him out with the recall on March 1st of 2010. After I had finished being a judge, I was a municipal court judge, which term ended February 28th of 2010. I had been appointed by Albio Series, and then Mayor Vega decided not to reappoint me. And I worked on this man's recall campaign right through the election. I was in charge of all things legal. I brought legal actions on his behalf against the Vega and the commissioners back in August of 2010, a defamation lawsuit that I filed. I also filed in November of 2010 a lawsuit on behalf of the taxpayers of the town against the administration regarding the buyout that they had approved for Janet Pesante. There was a $300,000 buyout. I was front and center with that. We And through the campaign. I mean, the day of the campaign, I was in charge of all things legal. I organized the attorneys, regarding any challenges. I put together our voter challenger list, went down to the county. Everything that an attorney would do for a candidate, or in this case, a group of commissioners, I did.
So how invested were you in Roque?
100%. I mean, I believed in his message at the time. I believed in our message that we were going to be transparent, that we were going to bring change to West New York, that we were going to be, the best thing for the people of West New York. And unfortunately, it's been everything but. I don't. All they've done there is really just, continue their battle mode that they had before the campaign, during the campaign, and now that they're in power, it's the same mode that they have. There's no desire to govern. There's no desire to do the right things. Sure, they'll tell you that, and they'll put up a front, and that's what politicians do. But really, what's going on there is unfortunately quite the contrary. And here I am.
So are you appealing this decision?
Well, if you mean, am I contemplating any legal action? I don't know at the time. I really, I'm weighing all my options. And then I will, after I consult with an attorney, I will determine what to do. Because I said I was terminated from a position as town attorney, which was for a year. I then go to the Board of Ed. I was a good soldier. I went to the Board of Ed. That was supposed to be for a term through June 30th. He gets involved in that. And, here we are having this interview. And I really...
So you feel like his hands were sort of dirty, or his hands were in every pot?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. I mean, he's behind it all. Yes.
Mm-hmm. What do you know about Caridad?
Well, Caridad Rodriguez is a friend of mine. Her and her husband are very good friends of mine. I've known her from my days in Albio Series' administration, when I was prosecutor, when I was judge. Obviously, she was a big boost to Roque's campaign when she came on board last year, in March of last year. I personally believe that when she did that, it just took us over the hump. And she's a hardworking woman, very intelligent, has a good following, and but unfortunately, from what I understand, there's a rift there too. There's a rift between the mayor and her over his recommendation or backing of the Republican or soon-to-be Republican senatorial candidate.
Right. Roque is firing pretty much a municipal employee a week. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I haven't kept tabs, but it's probably more than that. He fired Tom O'Malley, our building code official.
Right.
I understand he's also fired Frank Martinez, our fire code official, and he's fired some lower level employees.
That we don't know about.
Right. I mean, some people, but on the high profile end, those are two names that come to mind. But that's what I meant before. That they're in battle mode. That's the attitude they took, and I personally didn't think it was a healthy attitude. I think that we had the battle, we won, we were in. Let's govern. Let's take care of this town. I mean, I had been I'd worked with Albio Series, and saw his administration work, and even to some degree Mayor Vega. I mean, we criticized him during the campaign, but now that we were in there and I saw what we were doing, I would have to say Mayor Roque was not a better leader than Mayor Vega was. Mm-hmm. And I never thought I'd be saying that, but after seeing what I've seen and being a part of what I was a part, I can say that, yes.
Mm-hmm. So in light of your termination, did you see anything while working for Roque that concerned you that you can mention?
Some things did bother me. Some decisions they made. Some things I can't speak because of attorney-client privilege.
Right.
But yes, to answer you, that there were some things that I wasn't in agreement with. Absolutely. I mean, that led to his terminating me. As a matter of fact, when he let me go, he told me in his words that I was more intelligent than the gentleman that was coming in, but the guy that was coming in was going to listen to him and get things done. Those were his words. So at the time, I didn't understand what that meant, but now I do.
Many people have said that he's a yes man. So is that a confirmation based on your last statement that he wants to surround himself with an attorney that's going to just sort of kowtow to him and other people of that nature?
I'll make no comment on that. The record speaks for itself.
Okay. So where do you go from here? How have you been feeling since this whole thing went down?
Well, I'm a positive person. One door closes, another one opens. I don't give up. When we lost the recall last year, we had a lot of long faces, and I didn't give up hope. Obviously, I worked in the campaign. I didn't have to. So I'm going to continue, going ahead. I'm an attorney. I have an office. I have a profession.
So you have your private practice?
I have a private practice. Yes, I have a client base. I have good people that support me. Good people who would believe that I'm wrong. I have a strong family, a strong wife. I have children. I have a good nucleus, thank God. Mm-hmm. So you take your lumps, you dust yourself off, and you move ahead. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, that's it for me.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
How are you? How do you feel about Julio Morejon's performance with the Board of Ed?
Well, Julio was only with us for a very short period of time. Very short, I think it was only 2 board meetings, so I'm really not at the point to really comment on that, because he really hasn't had situations that I really had to, to judge him on. He was there just getting his feet wet, so it wouldn't be fair for me to make a comment about that.
Is there anything that transpired that makes you perhaps uncomfortable to make a comment?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I got so many things on my table that stuff like that, really doesn't come across to me. Basically, he was not there long enough for me to make any determination. I just knew him, when he was with the town. He was a town judge and attorney and so forth, and he was given the opportunity. But I really can't evaluate him in a very short period of time, to be very honest with you. Budgets and things come into play, and so forth. But that's about it,
So far, how do you think he's doing? Do you think that so far he's doing fine?
Well, there hasn't been really that many things that happen. It's been all basic things. Just like we don't have a BA now. We have one of our persons, a BA, will be coming on board February 16th. So, I really didn't have anything to base anything on. He was there, but I really, had no contact, basically, because he was a board attorney. Nothing to do with the Board of Ed. I have a different outlook on things. Honest with you. All right.